guys, it's your girl Gigi coming in on YouTube, known as ggirlgaming on Twitch, where you can find me Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday for all your football needs. Feel free to follow and subscribe here on YouTube. It is free for all your sports content. Today's topic is going to be week 2 waiver wire for fantasy football players. Number 1, the top player that I'm going to be adding is going to be running back Jeff Wilson. As we know, running back Eli Mitchell is out, I think, for 8 weeks, had a brace on his leg with that knee injury, and that is not so good for fantasy owners. For people like me, I drafted very wide receiver heavy and running back, but I snagged Eli Mitchell in the mid rounds. So unfortunately for people like that, Jeff Wilson is 0.4% rostered, and he should provide some insurance for Kyle Shanahan in that offense, in addition to Deebo Samuel, who is doing a fantastic job in the backfield, completing jet sweeps in an already loaded offense. Over the last 3 years, the 49ers have had a lot of injuries. A lot of 49ers running backs in those 3 seasons have scored the 7th most combined fantasy points as a team and as a unit. Number 2 on my list, guys, not surprising, Hard Knocks Jamal Williams. He is the running back 2 for the Detroit Lions, rostered at 14%. Jamal Williams came in very, very hot last week. He had 2 touchdowns and was a perfect complement to DeAndre Swift. If you guys really want to think about it, he could be like a poor man's Kareem Hunt, who is also a great complement to Nick Chubb. In that flexibility with Dan Campbell's scheme, I think that Jamal Williams could be a goal line, a touchdown-dependent goal line. Just a nice addition in that offense, especially when Jared Goff can't get anything going. Number 3, if you guys have not looked at Dontro Hilliard, he had a pretty good game alongside Derrick Henry. He's only rostered in 0.4% of leagues. He is the running back for the Titans behind Derrick Henry, and he did have a couple of touchdowns. He's turned those targets and catches, had a decent amount of points. I think he had 20 points. So look out for guys like Hilliard. I'm not sure if he will be an every week flex or starter, but definitely will provide some insurance with Derrick Henry or in case Derrick Henry goes out. Number 4, let's talk about Jahan Dotson. As I said before in my previous videos, I was very, very hot on Jahan Dotson, the rookie drafted out of the Commanders. I think he was responsible for a lot of Carson Wentz success. As we know, Carson Wentz was traded from the Indianapolis Colts in the offseason to the Commanders, and he lit it up for the Commanders. So Dotson, obviously, as we know him, out of Penn State, was responsible for not 1, but 2 touchdowns led by Carson Wentz. So in under 2 minutes, he led those targets. He had 5 targets. The Commanders scored 14 points in the last final minutes of that drive to have a comeback win over the Jags. So look for him to be a nice complement to Scary Terry, even Curtis Samuel, guys, and other receiver that you could pick up in week 2. Not quite sure his ceiling. I think we've kind of seen that, or his consistency, but might be a nice pickup in addition to Dotson. Let's talk about Devin Duvernay. So now we have Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, and Devin Duvernay. Did you guys know in week 1 against the Jets, he had 2 touchdowns and he's only rostered 0.3%. I think he would be a nice pick here and a nice third option there for the Baltimore Ravens. Next up in line, guys, T. Higgins came out of week 1 with an unfortunate concussion and was put into the concussion protocols. So with this said, guys, next man up is Tyler Boyd, rostered at 24%. He is a guy that has always provided value and had a very good performance, I think, in week 4 last year. So Tyler Boyd has been a Bengal for a minute, has a connection with Joe Burrow. Obviously, Jamar Chase is always going to be that one guy, but he's a startable WR3 while Higgins is out, and he's definitely proved his value there. Moving on, for other waiver wires, if you were interested in picking up some guys that we don't know how they're really going to do, we all know that Keenan Allen probably is going to be out for week 3 with that hamstring injury. So that's going to leave DeAndre Carter, who had a very nice week last week, who's only 0.1% rostered. And number 5, my favorite, Josh Palmer, 3% rostered. So this is kind of similar to the Patriots offense with Jacoby Myers and Parker. I just think, Mike Williams will be that guy, but Palmer and Carter will probably get some carries with Keenan Allen being out. As far as tight ends go, Hayden Hurst had a decent game for the Bengals. And he racked up 5 catches and 46 yards and made a pretty big impact. So for a cheap cost, guys, if you're doing DFS or you have a year-long fantasy, that is a nice option. Gerald Everett, tight end of the Chargers. If he's not rested in your league, put in a waiver claim here. 54 yards on 3 catches. So these are people that I think are waiver wire 2 pickups. If you go into quarterbacks, if you don't have guys like Marcus Mariota, was very, very, very impressive over the Saints, used his legs, was able to get the ball out to Patterson and Drake London and guys like that. So he is a decent floor, low upside kind of guy, along with Carson Wentz, who actually had a pretty decent game, only 3% rostered for the Washington Commanders. So Carson Wentz, 313 yards on 4 touchdowns. That is definitely bench stash worthy. Thank you guys so much for liking this video. Feel free to hit that like button, comment, tell me what you guys think about the week 2 waiver wire, and feel free to hit that follow button and subscribe for more content. Thank you.